Hello, Taurus. It's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here with your August 2025 mid-month general reading. We are looking at the second half of August for you, the Earth sign of Taurus. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Please do subscribe and like. If you know your other sign placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, it's helpful to watch those videos too for additional insight. If something really hits home and you'd like to see how it plays out in your own life, and examine advice and guidance in some situation in your own life, or you just like the reading style, if you are interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else, you can email me for more information, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description below to see that contact info as well. I can usually get back to you within 24 hours. I cover all areas of life: love and romance, relationship compatibility, career, work, money, investment, 6 and 12-month overviews, different types, costs, lengths, styles, spreads, and I'm also quite diligent about the timely scheduling of personal readings. So if that's something you're interested in, please email me. Okay, Taurus, let's see what the second half of August 2025 looks like for you. We begin with death, significant change, rebirth, phoenix rising from the ashes. You are either going through change, in the midst of change, or on the cusp of change. This is all about letting go of things which no longer serve us, no longer work for us, no longer part of the next part of our life path. We have the Ten of Swords, always a bit of a challenging card, although it does represent an ending as well, because tens in the tarot represent the ending of a cycle or a cycle coming full circle. Swords is air, it's intellectual energy, so the Ten of Swords represents, that a lot of you have or are coming to an awareness and understanding that something has either run its course or it is simply never going to be the thing that you want it to be, that you need it to be. And so it might be challenging, it might be painful. For some of you, it might even involve a betrayal of some kind, feeling stabbed in the back or kind of thrown under the proverbial bus. But it again, it's an ending and it's time to move on. We have Temperance, which represents keeping your balance in the midst of all this change, but but adapting and adjusting without losing your balance. It's kind of like being in the middle of a seesaw or teeter-totter, right? The arms represent the things that we can't control. So our job is to stay grounded, who we are, what we're about, what we know is good for us and right for us, and kind of shift and adjust, make some minor, it could be, it's about adapting and adjusting in the midst of change without letting it make us kind of crazy. Now, your crowning energy, overall theme and focus, is Judgment, which represents being at a pretty significant crossroads in life. It's a card that represents a call for change, a call to action. Depending on the deck you have, it usually shows some version of a cemetery and people rising up out of their tombs because there's an angel blowing its horn, or the artwork can vary. It's a call to action, it's a call to make a change, it's a call to rise up and do something different. And 4 cards showing so far, and 3 of them are Major Arcana cards, and pretty profound Major Arcana cards as well. So it does indicate that a lot of you are going through change, and it's for a purpose, it's for a reason. Something is, whatever the situation is, and no matter how difficult or challenging, coming to that awareness and understanding of that is, you're being called to move forward on a new path. That's what Judgment is all about, and that is your crowning energy. So let's take a look at that. The World and the Page of Wands, which is a really great combination because it also represents that while you might not be feeling it right at this very moment, Taurus, it is a sign that you either are just entering into or about to enter into a time period where things are going to get a lot easier and a lot better. especially if you've been going through some really difficult times. I mean, this is a general reading, so the actual details and specifics and the intensity may vary, according to what's in your natal chart. But this does represent making a significant decision. You're being called to take action. You're being called to get up and move forward, because by doing that, by making these decisions to acknowledge that this cycle is at an end and it's time to move on, you're going to put yourself on a brand new path, and things will probably almost immediately begin to get better. And the very movement of enacting and initiating change in your life is going to help with that as well. This might be in work, career, finance. It might be that something really didn't work out the way you wanted to. It might be in your relationship life. Let's take a look at the Death card here, which represents letting go of the old, moving on, what isn't working for you anymore, what has come to an end, kind of phoenix rising from the ashes. The positive aspects of this reading, in spite of the Ten of Swords, because the Ten of Swords can be a tough card to experience and to go through, regardless of whether it's work, your emotional life, someone has let you down, right? The rest of your cards are actually, and even the Ten of Swords represents it's done. The worst is done. It's over. The worst is over. The worst is done. So it's all about being able to move forward through this on a new beginning. And as soon as you begin to take steps to do that, you're going to start feeling better. You're about to enter into, if you choose to make those changes and move forward, into a much, much better time. Let's take a look at that Death card. Temperance also indicates that, temperance with Judgment, because they're both cards that typically have angels or angelic energy around them, signify that this new path is for you. You're exactly where you need to be. All right, Death. The Eight of Cups and the Chariot card. So the Chariot is a card of success through perseverance, determination, willpower, setting your goals, focusing yourself on what your goals are, and moving forward. Or even if you don't have a specific longer-term goal, it's about putting one foot in front of the other and refusing to give up, because success is, the Chariot is success through perseverance and determination. Even if you fall down, even if you get knocked down, it's about getting up and moving forward. And the Eight of Cups, of course, is leaving behind something which has either run its course, it's turned out to be something different than what you thought, so you're turning your back and leaving and moving in a different direction, even if you're not sure exactly what's at the other end of the road or what the path is going to be like. You're leaving here in the Eight of Cups to transition to the Nine of Cups, which is finding your abundance, finding your, it's your wishes granted card, the next card after this. But here we have to walk away from what is no longer for our greater good. All right, let's take a look at this Ten of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. What has disappointed or let you down or made you feel in any kind of negative way is, I think that you thought, you assumed or thought or was told that you were in alignment towards the same goal. And again, this can be at work, career, in the earth energy area of your life. This can also be in relationships, because both of these cards together, without the Ten of Swords, represents teamwork, collaboration. Everybody's kind of working towards the same goal. They're in alignment about that and what they need to do to achieve that. Ace of Pentacles is practical new beginnings, brand new beginnings, job, moving, relocating, some new beginning. There's a letdown here. And for some of you, this might be, a job, a position, a role, a position as a leader of something in career and work, and perhaps you were promised, or there was an assumption you would get it and you didn't. You thought you were in alignment with this other person or these other people, and it turned out you weren't, ultimately. In relationship, again, it's the same thing. You thought you were working towards the same goals. You thought that was going to happen, and it didn't. And no matter how much you may have wanted it, if it was supposed to work out, and if it was, something that would put you on a path of joy and abundance, it would have, but it hasn't. So Spirit has something else for you. Let's take a look at Temperance. But the worst is behind you now. The worst has happened, right? So it's now time to move forward. And Temperance is about that. Temperance is about learning how to adapt and adjust to, all the changes in our life, both the anticipated ones and the unanticipated ones, while keeping our center of gravity. It's also a good indication that you have the skills and personal power and to be able to navigate this and make whatever adaptations and adjustments you need to keep moving forward. Yep, the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool. So remember, we have the World here, right? Which is completion of a cycle. A pretty significant chapter, a pretty significant phase. We go through a variety of different phases in our life. The Fool is the 0 card, the very first major arcana card in the tarot. This is where our journey begins again. It's a whole new cycle, a whole new chapter beginning. And we go through many of these phases through life, right? So Spirit is, there's divine timing and orchestration at play here. You're meant to go forward on a different path. You're meant to start on a new path here. And that requires, as the Fool does, stepping off the beaten path to explore a new one, taking a chance, getting out of your comfort zone, all kind of sometimes scary and very nerve-wracking sort of experiences. But it's about beginning a new journey and kind of keeping your balance, or trying to in the midst of that. The 4 of Swords also came out with that. So you may need to take a minute here to step back, to rest, recover, recuperate, renew, maybe seek some advice and guidance, to kind of prepare you for this new path and this new cycle here. But you have everything that it takes to navigate through this. And remember that 10 of Swords can be a challenging card or even a painful card, but it's done. The worst is done, right? A call to action, a call to move forward, and I think you're going to immediately find yourself in a much better place. Advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit. Ace of Wands and 9 of Cups. There's that 9 of Cups. So in the 8 of Cups, we're walking away from something which proved not to be our 9 of Cups, because we want to start. We want to have a whole exciting new beginning here. Moving towards our abundance, what our hearts desire, our wish fulfillment. 5 of Cups, make sure that you don't waste time and keep yourself stuck by focusing solely on or continuously focusing on what didn't work out, what happened, the source of the pain or the disappointment, right? Because you might miss, as this person doesn't see these 2 cups upright full behind him, you might miss what else is good in your life. You might miss any opportunities because you're focused only on, what didn't work out. You can't drive forward while you're looking backwards, right? So be careful not to do that. 10 of Wands. It's time to lay this down. This burden needs to be, it's time. It's done. The burden is over. It's time to move on and walk away. Take a look at your resources. What do you have? What decisions do you need to make moving forward? Yeah. One foot in front of the other is what I'm getting. And I think as soon as you start doing that, you're gonna see almost immediately this improvement. Because remember, your crowning energy is judgment, that call to action. What are you going to do? You're going to take this opportunity to move in a new direction, whether it was something you had planned or not, because you're getting ready you're on the cusp of moving into a beautiful new place. Times are going to be getting better for you, especially for those of you who have been going through a really difficult time. So, good news. All right, Taurus, those are your messages for the second half of August 2025. For those of you for whom it hit home and resonated, I hope it was helpful and useful for you, gave you some food for thought. Again, if it did and you'd like to see how this plays out in your own personal life and situation, or you dislike the reading style, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else, email me directly, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video below to see that contact info as well. I'd love to hear from you. I will see you all shortly. Be safe, be well, be blessed. Hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.